What's up, 589? Max Muscato, hey. Good morning from Lincoln, England. Awesome. Yeah, guys, the Riddlers are pointing to the 14th of something for forever. And everyone is always trying to decode that 14. And it turns out it was June 14. So we'll see if it sticks, but this could be the news we needed for an uptrend in the charts. And I have my anti-slurp glass. Oh yeah, I mean, last day for work, probably last month or two. But remember, you're gonna want to stay at your job a little bit longer, depending on what your goals are and if you're single or not, because you want to let XRP appreciate as much as possible. I wonder if this sound is screwing anyone up, because I'm not slurping, but I just can't win. I'm trying so hard to not lose subscribers to slurping. I never knew this drink was orange. I guess that makes sense because it's mango. Fascinating. To peace. From the Philippines, welcome, Medov. That's really cool. Thanks for being here. Yeah. What's the price of XRP in the Philippines? Wonder if I can edit the title to. I forgot to write XRP in it. Let's see here. Edit XRP Riddlers. I'll add XRP Riddlers because some people don't actually subscribe and they need to know what it's even talking about. So saved that. Channel content. Go back to the live. I'm still so new to YouTube, guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, I added the word XRP to the title because some people are probably like, what? Riddlers? Around 70 Philippine pesos? Trying to load more? Yeah, sweet. Yeah, in the Philippines, like Extrabot made a good point the other day. In the Philippines, you're not going to need nearly as much XRP to retire if you want to, because of the your money goes further. At least you got something to listen to for the first hour of the ship. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm honored to be that. Yeah, but I mean, so Riddlers were pointing to the 14th. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but for like forever, the Riddlers are pointing to the 14th. And everyone was always trying to figure out the 14th of what. Like, some people were like 1/4, like April 1st. Some people were like, Valentine's Day, February 14th. Like, they're like, they put a heart with 14 right in the middle. It's got to mean something. And then June 14th. So if you ever wanted more confirmation of the Riddlers knowing the game plan, Trump literally came out and did the biggest thing he could do in the world, which was end our side of the war. Albeit temporarily, that's pretty big Riddler confirmation. Hello, Lambi Harino. I'm doing great, thanks. How are you? Yeah, I'm starting to kind of feel the potential for an upward trend in the charts because they're running out of time, and there's a lot of things that point towards the 3rd and 4th week of June being like the mini moon, and then July could be. I mean, it could all happen at the end of June. It could all be like $50 plus a coin, $100 a coin at the end of June, but at least by July. Oh, awesome! From India, dude. Welcome. Yeah, we did have a little pump a few hours ago. I think, we're gonna see what Monday morning does. And do you guys remember all those riddles that said like try to not sell Saturday or Sunday until Monday at 9 a.m. So we'll see. Tomorrow's a Monday at 9 a.m. We'll see if this news is enough to just send it, because remember when we had that news for the Clarity Act? It sent, and then they capped it again. And then at the beginning of the year, it sent to like $2.40, and then they capped it again. So we'll see if this is a move, because I mean, I can't think of a larger catalyst to send the price in this, like in a positive. Yeah, how much is XRP in India? like with your currency, because it's 70 Philippine pesos for XRP, and it's $1.18 right now for the US dollar. Friday to Monday has been a riddle. Can't remember which riddler though. Yeah, I think it was like the Ripple Riddler or something like that. But it was something. It was another riddle where everyone's like, "What Monday?" And it hasn't ever been any Monday. So I mean, tomorrow morning. I mean, they're ready to send it. Um, you know, straight up anytime now. They're ready to send it. So I mean, it really could be tomorrow morning. I am in the United States, Washington State. But yeah, I mean, like, really, really, really exciting stuff because we're waiting for a catalyst. You know, everyone was waiting for the catalyst that's gonna send us into a reversal in the upward trend. And I can't think of any bigger news that could be. I mean, other than a direct relation of XRP and tokenization being directly related to like Swift or BlackRock. Other than a catalyst like that that speaks directly to XRP, I mean, just having a 60-day peace deal in Iran is easily enough to be a catalyst that they could use to send the price up to $5-10. And one of these days, we're going to come on here and we're going to be, you know, literally live watching it pump because it's going to be something really fun to watch. Yeah, I remember thinking, because, you know, the last few months, we've been really down with like, we've been really down in the market. We've been really down on the charts. And so it didn't matter almost, like, even that day of the Clarity Act, it almost felt like it didn't matter what good news you got, charts were going down. Now I feel like this is the first thing that's happened where I was like, this could be the catalyst where we're finally not disappointed, at least even for like a week. There's a lot of so the 14th was a big date for the Riddlers. There's a big catalyst date. Good morning, it's frozen. But the next, I mean, literally 15th through the 22nd, there's a lot of strong things pointing to those dates. The 22nd especially, which is a week from now. So yeah, I mean, this week could just be pumperonis. It could just be they let everything climb, including Bitcoin, and then um, they could even wait until, because I mean, I'm kind of shocked. I googled it, and it didn't look like they had announced the Japanese carry trade, like the rate hike yet. Last time I had checked. Let me see if I can do a new window because I want to be able to see if they've done the new rate hike yet. Am I really getting so old? I don't know how to open a new window on the computer. Oh man, I'm 30. I'm turning 38 next month, July 12th, and I think my 38th birthday will be millionaires. Let's see. Okay, home. Wow, I'm feeling dumb right now trying to open a new window. Living through the craziest time in history, 1000%. It's frozen for me. To feel like I don't have enough XRP currently on 2500 and 23, dude. It's frozen. If you have 2500 XRP and you're 23 and you're single, you are going to crush it. I'd say that's all you need at that age. Don't even worry about getting a single extra XRP. Because by the time you're 30, 2500 XRP, just say times $10,000 a coin. It's like what, 25 million? Yeah, dude, you're good. Just don't sell unless you have to, you know. Wait until you can like take out loans against your XRP. 2500, dude, you're stacked. You're in the top 10%. So don't ever feel bad about the size of your position. Just be glad you know about it because 99% of the world or more doesn't know that this is even going on. Midav should be big on the 19th when the US and Iran signs the deal. Yeah. Yeah, all eyes are on Japan. So two huge things that could happen that could just send the chart either direction is an official US and Iran signing the deal in person because they did a digital signature, I think, which, but I mean, it works. And then all eyes on Japan, yeah, because if Japan raises their rates anything above 1%, Jay Claver thinks that it's just going to send the carry trade, and then XRP will be utilized. Chug, 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 yeah. Yeah, and I put it in a glass 12 gauge shoddy so that uh, it's a silencer for the slurp. I'm a big slurper from cans, I guess, because I'm autistic and ADHD. But yeah, 12 gauge shoddy. I have a Mossberg 580. Forget the name of it. I haven't pulled it out in a couple of years, but I got it during COVID because I got it the Mossberg 580. It's got the like the 8-round magazine pump action Mossberg shoddy 12 gauge, and I've got birdshot, buckshot. I've got everything. It's frozen. Trust me, you're doing perfectly fine. Yes, everyone back frozen up, dude. He's stacked for his age. Holy shit, yeah. 2,500 XRP. Yeah, just throw another $20 here and there at it, dude. Throw another $100 here and there at it. You're just knocking it out of the park, frozen. Yeah. I don't think you have any idea how much money you're gonna have. Drink it, good boy. Good boy, maybe for the Mossberg. But gosh, I just gotta figure out how to open a new window here. I'm just getting name window. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so embarrassing. Okay, shrink that. I'm literally getting to the age where it's getting difficult for me to learn how to open a new window. So now in the new window, I can look up Japanese interest rate hike. Yeah. Japan rate hike decision. AI will tell me if they've done it yet. Bank of Japan is widely expected to raise its short-term policy rate to 1%. And it says June 15th to the 16th. So I wonder if we'll have to wait another day to figure out if they're going to send us into the second moon. We should almost do a poll. We should almost do a poll to see who thinks we're going to do like just a mini moon first or just a full moon. Just send it to the freaking stars. Okay, what was the other thing I was trying to look up? Oh yeah, Mossberg 590. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys. You guys aren't gonna believe this. If you want to Google, does that have the magazine for it? Okay, maybe it's the 580. Zaman, I've heard nothing but good things about. I haven't used Zaman yet, but I intend to get one when price appreciates. I intend to get a couple Zamans and a couple decents on top of my Tangums. Trying to look up what kind of shotgun I have now. 580? It's the one with the magazine. It would be cool if it was a Mossberg 589. The shotgun. It is a 590. Mag fed. Yep. I just haven't pulled it out in a couple years, so I forgot what it looks like. Yeah, Mossberg 590. Oh my god. So this shotgun I bought a couple years ago is the model number is 590. And that's one after 589. I had no clue about XRP back when I bought this thing, but yeah. So 589, price skyrockets. 590, shotgun. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Just using the app. Is there a Zaman app? Is that like a hot wallet? Definitely want to get a cold wallet, even if it's just a Tangum or something cheap. Because you can get a Tangum 2-pack for like $60. Did everyone have a good weekend though? It was a pretty hot weekend here in the Pacific Northwest. But I mean, there's somebody from India with us right now, so I probably shouldn't say that it's hot here because it's probably pretty tolerable compared to India right now. How do I send? Can I send images in the chat? So it was telling me until I have 1,000 subscribers, uh, I don't have all of the options for the lives. So like on some people's lives, like they can actually show the comments when they replay the live or re-upload it. I don't think I have the option to do that. Yeah, but I just thought I would do another live because I had a lot of fun making that live yesterday and answering people's questions. Uh, and then today, with that news of the Iran peace deal actually being signed, it was, I mean, that's huge news. I think it's bigger news than you guys might even think because that's the best news we could have gotten this week. I was literally like not even trusting the hope. I was like, well, we could definitely have, potentially a peace deal signed, and that would be great. But it almost sounds too good to be true. So the markets, I think, are ready to pump because, usually after the market pumps a little bit, it really kind of peters off, and it hasn't really petered off too much. I'm going to go to the XRP live chart again. Because, yeah, I mean, just hanging out ready to rock it, I think. Because imagine when the markets open on Monday and all the institutions wake up and they can log into their computers at work and just put in a bunch of orders for XRP, I think we rip. What do you guys think? We should do a poll. Do we rip tomorrow off the news or do we dump? Where's the poll button? Yeah. Okay. Do we rocket off of peace deal or crash? Oh, I can edit these questions too. Can I? Man. How do we edit that? Hey, John's Journey, welcome back. We're just trying to start a poll. And I'm still figuring out YouTube Live. I just want to edit this question. Oh, I did it. Autofill. No, don't do that. Okay. Option. Crash. An option. Oh, I can edit these? That's so cool. You guys are ready for this? Rocket, crash, nothing burger. One of my favorite words. Okay. All right. You guys can vote now. Do we rocket off the peace deal, crash off the peace deal, or just fucking nothing happens? Typically, I know no one wants to vote crash, but I mean, like, every time we get good news, it seems to be what happens. I'm hopeful that this is actually a big enough catalyst to actually, yeah, living off of hope over here. Yeah, we have to learn to live off of just pure hopium. We have 0 oxygen tanks. We have hopium tanks. But dude, I mean, like, I got in October, right after the 1010 crash. When my friend told me about it, and then he knew I'd do the deep dive, and I rode that bitch all the way to the bottom. I think XRP will hit $100 instead of $1,000 end of year. Yeah, good prediction. I think that it's gonna be $100 in July, and then upper hundreds, like $200, $300, $400, $500 by end of year. Very, very astute prediction though. It's frozen. Yeah, they're trying to discourage and shake us out. Yeah, 1000% mid off. They're trying to shake us out. And remember that they're gonna try to shake us out on the way up too. So they're gonna try to park it at $5 or $10, and then oh, start a poll. It didn't start yet. God, they make you click 9 buttons to start a poll. But yeah, no, they want to shake you out on the way up too. So do not sell under $100. And then if you do sell at $100, don't sell your whole bag. Never sell your whole bag. I'm actually gonna write that. Oh, can I vote? Oh, people people are voting nothing but nothing. Why is nothing burger winning? Like just world peace, potential world peace gets signed, and it's gonna be a nothing burger for XRP. We very well could rock it though. Yeah, John's journey. That's good. Yeah, if you don't have to sell under $10,000 a coin, don't. I've always told people that I'm gonna sell 2% once it hits like $10 or $20 the first mini moon, and then I'm just gonna set that aside as like a little buffer, a little cash buffer between me and my family, just so that I can protect the rest of the 98% of the bag and never have to sell that. Yeah, and it's dual sided. Like you can sell if you need to, because sometimes that'll make more sense to just sell like 5 coins or something like that to like buy a car. But um, yeah, you can get yield off of it, and you can take out loans against XRP, so you won't have to sell. There'll be so many options for you as an XRP holder holding the #1 asset in the world that they'll roll out red carpets in front of you to give you money. I hope the price parking during the reset doesn't last long. It won't. It'll be the part of the final shakeout, but they have to skyrocket it to use it, and they're not going to delay it. John's journey, 53,000 is the fattest sack. You have the fattest sack. I don't even know how you walk. You and Crack from the other day, like 53,000 XRP. You could look at it as like, what if somebody had like 53,000 Bitcoin like a year ago? That's You're a mini micro sailor. Damn, dude, 24 and you've got 13,000? Yeah, killer bag, dude. Fat sacks everywhere. And even you, who is it? It's Frozen? Yeah, 2,500 XRP, dude. Great size sack. You guys all have great size sacks. Dude, Nothing Burger. Oh, we're even. Nothing Burger versus Rocket. Uh, 50-50. We have a 50-50 shot tomorrow. That Monday just straight up nothing happens, and we continue to trade sideways at $1.18 for the rest of our lives, or it goes to like $10. Yeah, John's journey. Yeah, so 13,000 is gonna be a great bag if you're close to 40. Yeah, I'm 37. Um, and I won't ever share how much XRP I have, just because, like, if you put your face on, like, we'll just assume I have 1 to 100 XRP, because if you put your face on, like, YouTube channel, and you're on XRP channel and the price skyrockets, you don't want to be talking about how much XRP you could potentially have. It's got more than one, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you guys all have really. I've got a group of fat sack guys in here, and I say guys. There might be a girl or two, because there's there's like, when I look at my analytics for YouTube for the people that watch, like 7% are women. 93% of people that watch crypto videos are men. We're greedy bastards. We're willing to take risks. Oh yeah, 1000%. And you can share in this community 1000%, because like your face isn't like in the video, so like you could tell people you have a million XRP and you're safe, because it's like no one's really gonna be like knowing you. So yeah, you guys, as long as the name in your username isn't like your legal name on your birth certificate, then you're good. Like your full first, middle, last name. Good choice. I only share because it's a fake name here. Yep, see? 1000% John's journey. John could be Paul. John could be Kayla. John could be Pee Wee Herman. And John's got a fat sack. Here's to you guys with your fat sacks of XRP. Yeah. Yeah. That's great, John. I think that you're gonna be great at that. Because it sounds like you're a minimalist and you're not really a materialist. And then yeah, not working a stupid job will be easy for you as of July. A Discord community is a great idea because I really think it'd be cool. In Discord, can you add a bunch of people on video? Like, can we all just be in a room where we're just a bunch of faces floating and talking like we're all in like a digital room? Or is Discord only voice? I think I've used Discord for gaming and as a bunch of voices. But that would work too. Because you'd be able to see who's talking and what. I vote nothing burger, but it's still huge because it's one of the prerequisites for us to go to the stratosphere. XRP means peace. Yeah, great point. For us all to communicate during the whole thing. Yeah. I've got a nerd friend that wants to help me with my YouTube channel and help me edit videos and stuff like that. And then he's also great at like Discord and stuff, so maybe I could have him come over and help me set up a Discord because that would be really cool. Because I mean, like, it's one thing to be like responding to comments, but like if we were all just like communicating and like talking and like bouncing ideas off of each other, yeah, I think that would be a really cool thing to do. Why in crypto is only a sausage fest, no ladies around? Because ladies don't have fat sacks, John. Ladies don't want a fat sack of XRP dragging behind their legs. They're too classy. Men want the fattest sack. And you guys all have fat XRP sacks. Very, very impressive group. I think I don't even know anyone with 100,000 XRP, but I think anything over 5,000 XRP is great. 10,000's a fat sack. 20,000 plus is like generational and charity. 20,000 XRP is just like a ridiculous amount, and it's you know, like I had my dad invest into XRP, and I had him get a little over 30,000, and then I was like, yeah, you're good, because he's got more in his 401k that he could move, but I know he doesn't need to. It is not mathematically possible for XRP to get to enormous numbers these influencers speak about. Pam Peaceful. We might have our first woman right here, Pam Peaceful. So Pam, I got a bunch of videos about it you can watch. Like you can go to my channel and like look at like market cap will not define the price of XRP. But you've got to remember that they're going to force a supply shock. And then the supply shock. So imagine like all the institutions need this asset, and there's only like a few thousand available. So what would the price of that XRP be? Like you don't need to look at like there's 100 billion coins and there's 60 billion circulating. Ripple has 40 billion in escrow. All you need to know is that when there's a supply shock, because it's all pre-planned, once there's a supply shock, then you know BlackRock's gonna come out and announce that like you know everything in the world will be tokenized across the XRP ledger, and then they'll launch an ETF. And then if you thought the ETF inflows were good over the last 6-7 months, wait till BlackRock comes out, and BlackRock will force the price up to supply shock. And there's not that much left on exchanges. Like people look at the numbers and they think there's like 16 billion on exchanges. There's not. Because even if there were technically 16 billion sitting on exchanges, that's not all available for sale to you. There might only be like 1-2 billion left. XRP and BlackRock can wipe that out, and this is all planned. So look at some of my older videos from like a week or two ago, and understand that uh, it is not really just a mathematical game. They are going to run out. They intend to run out. They've always planned to run out of XRP. So once they run out of XRP, because they're going to force that to happen, how much will the remaining XRP be worth? If there's only like 100,000 XRP floating around, and Coinbase is asking like $100 or $1,000 per coin, institutions will pay it because it's a tax write-off for them. And the other alternative for the institutions will be to just close their doors. But that's most people's concern about XRP, is that there's just too much supply and not enough money in the world. But remember also, when they're tokenizing the world, when they're adding, the Sears Tower, when they're tokenizing the Sears Tower, tokenizing the Mona Lisa, tokenizing your house, tokenizing all this stuff, there's going to be money added to the XRP ledger that doesn't even exist right now. Because like, if you have a really valuable painting that's worth like $1 million and it's sitting on your wall, that's a beautiful painting sitting on your wall, but it's not worth $1 million. That $1 million that it's worth isn't sitting anywhere. It'll be sitting on the XRP ledger once everything's tokenized. I keep writing buy XRP on walls at work. I mean, I feel like doing that sometimes. I I talk to everyone that I run into. So I was like 3 for 4 today. So I told 3 people about it, or I told 4 people about XRP today. And the last guy, I had to debate him about it because he was stuck on market cap. And then once I explained to him market cap and supply shock and how this is all pre-planned, I spent like 5-10 minutes explaining it to him. I could see his eyes. He kind of like was like, "Oh, like I might need to go get some." And then I sent him my video about Bitcoin versus XRP, um, which is my highest viewed video, and it's all pre-planned. So I sent him that video, and then I told him, "Don't worry about market cap." Madab, I'm a lady. No one listens to me about XRP. LOL, I give up. Everyone's here, fixated on the system. That's awesome. So we do literally have a woman on the channel with us right now. So statistically, you are like an anomaly, and I apologize for how many times I've said sack tonight. You are awesome. Women are, in my opinion, better than men most of the time. Men are ridiculous. We have a lot of purposes. Men have a lot of purposes, but women are better. Looks like we're still 50-50 on the votes of Rocket or Nothing Burger, but no one voted Crash. That's gotta count for something, because usually XRP voters vote Crash. Oh, okay, you've been in the community for years, so you've heard a lot of men talking about fat sacks for years. Okay, so I'm not the first person to say fat sack of XRP. That's great. Appreciate the honesty there and the clarity. When you look at how laws, banks, and blockchains actually work, it may not be a forced supply shock. Blockchains cannot be forced or frozen by a government. Banks do not want 1,000 token price. And guessing there's going to be more to that comment. Governments do not write multi-trillion-dollar checks to retail investors. They won't have to. Yeah, they won't have to write checks to anyone. The asset will just be worth $1,000 plus in the next 12 months and 6 to 12 months. And then because the asset is worth that, I mean, it's like if you go to the grocery store and this weird grocery store you went to happened to have a corner where they sold gold bars, no one's cutting you a check in there. You have the option to buy or sell your gold bars there in that corner. And whatever gold's worth that week or month is what you're going to sell or pay. So when XRP, you got to look at XRP as a tier 1 asset, because that's what it's going to be. Oh, we got 1 vote for Crash. So somebody do that just to troll us. Somebody's just trolling. Somebody just wanted to make a rise. That's awesome. I would do that. I would vote Crash just because no one has. But I don't actually think we're gonna crash tomorrow, but who knows? But so it doesn't matter what the banks want or don't want. This is going to be the new financial system. They are going to have to utilize this or close their doors because XRP will be faster and they won't have to have Nostro Vostro accounts. They won't have to park trillions of dollars around the world. So once one country and institution starts using XRP, and all the other countries and institutions see how fast and cheap it is, they're all going to switch. Whether we have clarity or not, they're all going to switch because some countries don't give a shit about the US, you know, laws around clarity. So Japan's already welcoming XRP with open arms and they're ready to go. So the governments don't need to write anyone a multi-trillion dollar check. They just, the institutions, organizations will be able to label it as a tier one asset. And then if you hold that tier one asset and it happens to be worth a couple $1,000s, they won't fucking care. I'm one of the boys. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I mean, you may be a lady, but if you spent enough time in the XRP community, you're definitely one of the boys. You've got a fat sack. Why are you so sure, Chris? You talked with an insider. So you've got to look at, like, if you want a real deep dive into like my perspective as to why I'm so sure. The reason I don't need any hopium is because I spent 15 years of my life, like 80% involved in researching every single conspiracy theory on the planet. And I've gone down the rabbit trail for Sasquatch. I've gone down the rabbit trail for Great Financial Reset. I've gone down the rabbit trail for Bilderberg Group and the elite, the top 300 people in the world that like make all the decisions for the governments and stuff. And I've gone down all the rabbit trails for all these things. And some things are more true than others, but I've known that for decades that the New World Order has planned to create a one world reserve currency. And that's not going to be the dollar. They intend to kill the dollar, the petrodollar. And so they have wanted a one world reserve currency for years, if not decades. And so when the New World Order wants something done, it eventually gets done. Even if it takes them 10, 20, 30, 40 years to implement it, it gets done. So that's why I'm so sure, because by the time that I even heard about XRP or even saw that it was even a thing going on, like blockchain and crypto, I knew within the first week, I was like, oh, this is the technology that they are going to use for the New World Order's one world reserve currency, and it will lead to digital IDs, social credit scores, and all that other bullshit. But if we write it and we utilize it correctly, we'll become wealthy off of that and give ourselves a buffer between us and the elitist bullshit. That's why I'm so sure. This has been planned, and it's there's nothing else it could be. Yes, sir. XRP and Neo. Awesome. Welcome. I'm so convicted personally due to my faith in the creator. Yeah, 1000%. I mean, if you feel like you were shown this by divine intervention, I think a lot of people do. Because otherwise, why would we be so convicted? You know, there were certain people that were chosen to hold this. Like I said, I was 3 for 4 today. I told 4 people about it, and 3 people didn't want to hear it, and they were already successful people. Like they were. I think that a lot of people, when David Schwartz came out and said, if a lot of intelligent people said that, like, if a lot of intelligent people thought it was going to go to $1,000 a coin plus, then it would already be $20 a coin because they would be anticipating that. I don't believe that's the case at all because I've talked to a lot of successful people, and the more successful they are, the less they care about crypto and XRP. They're just not even interested in hearing about it because they think it's whatever the world wants them to think it is, whatever the governments have wanted them to think crypto is. That's what they think it is. Yeah, you're right, John's journey. Like, people need rules and people need regulations in order for there to be morality in the world and ebbs and flows and good and bad. But if there's an elite group of people using that control for their own benefit, that That is wherein lies the problem. So if there was not an elite group of people in this world and everyone was just your neighbor, just a good person, just like, you know, the average Joe, like if everyone in the world was just a good person, then yeah, control grids would be fine. Digital IDs would be fine. Social credit scores would be fine. Um, but because there's that elite group of people that just hate humanity and want everything for themselves and they're selfish and greedy and they hate us, um, that's why it doesn't end up working out that way. Like in a perfect world, yeah, control would be just fine. With the final MICA transition, grace periods wrapping up, exchanges are actively purging non-compliant tokens. Wow. Very fascinating, Shine. I'm glad you shared that with us. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, they're going to be switching over to ISO 222 tokens, and I think when the Clarity Act comes out, 99% of cryptos are going to die. Pam Peaceful, holding forever is a trap. To a degree, yeah. I think by the time the Market of the Beast system's implemented, you'll want to have physical silver and gold and property and stuff like that. But I think there's going to be a euphoric bubble where holding is the way. 95%. 95% XRP and Neo. What was your previous comment? Yes, okay. 95%. Oh, 90, okay, yeah. 95% of cryptos are going to die, yeah. Somewhere a high amount of cryptos are going to die just because they were, meme coins or not utility tokens or, not backed by any real actual, um, you know, goal or use case. So yeah, 95%. Um, there's a lot of good coins for sure. I mean, let's list them. We have uh, XRP, which will be number one, and then we have the altcoins: XLM, HBAR, SHX, XDC, Ondo, uh, Quant, Flare. Uh, we've got a lot of them. We could list them all. There's absolutely going to be probably like 100 tokens or less that are really really utilized. XRP for 10 years and it sucked for them. Yeah, it really would have sucked for the most part to hold XRP for 10 years. Because you would have had that one parabolic run, and then every other coin you would have had to watch do its run, and then yeah, you would have watched in that 10-year period of time. You would have watched Bitcoin go from like 1,000 to 126,000. You would have watched Ethereum go from $12 to 4,000. You would have watched Solana go from 50 cents to 300. So yeah, that would have really sucked to be holding for 10 years. But stacking that entire time and in the end being the main coin at the end, I mean, that would be worth it as long as they made it. I've only been in for 7 months, so I couldn't imagine what that would have been like. I have mad respect for people that have been in longer than like a year or two because it's a brutal space, and they've suppressed it for so long that it would have been like psychological warfare. Yeah, holding for 6 years, it sucks so bad. It sucks so bad until it doesn't, and you have a fat stack. So part of the reason that your stack is so fat is because you've been in for that long. So you get the extra reward. I don't think there are any influencers that get paid to hype up XRP. I think there are plenty of influencers that get paid to hype Bitcoin because they want to use that as exit liquidity. But I think there's in between people getting paid to hype up Bitcoin and not paid to hype up XRP. In between, there are people that are genuinely trying to make their living on YouTube. And so they'll do like endless hopium clickbait videos, and they'll repeat themselves and just try to say the most clickbaity stuff to get you to watch their videos because they're trying to make a living off those videos. So yeah, I don't think there's anyone that gets paid to pump XRP because that was never you are not their plan. So you holding doesn't matter anymore to them. Like they want you out, but you holding the coin or being invested in it, your liquidity will not matter when they activate it. So that's why I don't think anyone gets paid to. It's actually the opposite. Instead of getting paid to talk about XRP, you have people like the CEO of BlackRock and Elon Musk and other people that are literally under a non-disclosure agreement to not talk about XRP because it's the plan. So they've been told like, okay, well, you can't talk about it yet. You'll know the plan. You'll know we're going to use this and it's going to be the new global financial system, but you can't talk about it. And they've come out and said that. So it's kind of the opposite of that. Most XRP peeps I know just want to help you out. Yeah. In the community, most of the people that you read comments from, uh, they just want to do good and help people. And I think that that's why they were led to it. Pam Peaceful, if I remember correctly, you have a great amount of XRP, so I wouldn't worry about that. A good amount is like 1,000 plus. So anything above 1,000, you're good. A great amount is, you know, 5 to 10,000, but like, you know, also depending on where you live, you know, your money goes a lot further in some countries. So and you don't genuinely need to worry about how much XRP you have because I feel like by the time it takes off, just the fact that you have any, you'll be grateful. People around you will be grateful that you were able to hold on until they let it rip. Oh, that's funny, Shine. Yeah, a lot of people do have a Bitcoin story where they sold too early. I remember, so I originally, the reason I never looked into crypto was because I thought that a bunch of nerds who play Dungeons and Dragons had created their own currency. And I was like, why the hell do you need your own currency? That's a silly, stupid idea. Like, you don't need to make your own currency. Like, we have all these currencies in the world that work just fine. You don't need your own currency. So, when my friend, when I was like 23, told me that he was mining for Bitcoin, and he was when he was mining for Bitcoin, he was like, it might not even be worth it because it's only like a couple $100 per Bitcoin you'll gain if you successfully mine it. But he's like, I'm just like not using my computer all the time, so he was mining Bitcoin. Bitcoin was like a couple $100 a coin, and at that point in time, because I was already going down these rabbit holes for like conspiracy theory stuff, I could have just gone and looked into it to see what it was and held some just in case. But I never did that just because I thought that the whole concept, the whole notion behind having a separate currency outside of the system was really stupid. So yeah, everyone has their own Bitcoin story where they either sold too early or they heard about it and didn't look into it. Is HSBC a Ripple Bank partner? Let's see here. Is HSBC a Google says, is it a good bank? Let's just search Ripple. Okay. AI is going to tell us here. Yes, HSBC is a Ripple partner. The global banking giant utilizes Metaco, an institutional digital asset custody technology company acquired by Ripple, to build out its digital asset storage and tokenized securities custody services. So yeah, it says right here, HSBC partners with Ripple. Everyone's partnering with Ripple because behind the scenes, they know the plan. Now, people like you and I, unless you do some serious research and deep dives, we are not supposed to know what's the plan. We're supposed to think that it's a dumb, random shitcoin that's always going to go to zero. but if you've done enough research, you realize that all of them behind the scenes are connecting and partnering. They're just not announcing these things until they're ready. AI always says it is not possible for XRLAM or XRP to get that high. You know, Jay Claver made a good point about that. Because if you ask AI on Google a question, it'll give you its response really quick. But he says if it doesn't know or calculate like the plan or what could happen or what events could cause a supply shock, then it just calculates based on today. Like what could the price of XRP be in the next 30 days? And based on those calculations, yeah, it'll give you answers for that. But if you edit, and I've never played with AI this much, but if you edit your what you feed AI and tell them like, hey, if they were to run out of XRP and this were to happen and this were to happen, what would the price be? It usually gives you a little bit of a higher number because it's trying to calculate based on those outlying circumstances. I need a banking option that knows XRP and GIE insured yield. Yeah. So, you know, like I feel like I've told people, like, everyone is really excited about the option of staking or the option of yield. And I would encourage you to be really patient on trying to get that to work for your XRP, because there's going to be a period of time in which they're transitioning into the new system and XRP is going to be implemented and used because of the crisis, and that will cause the implementation. But it's because XRP was never designed for us, it was never designed for retail, it was designed for institutions and banks. It's going to take the traditional banking system at least 6 to 12 months to issue a product that will allow you to gain yield or stake your XRP in a safe way so that you don't have any risk of losing XRP. And then even after that 6 to 12 months, I'd probably only, start, by testing out staking like 10% at a time, trying to gain yield off of that percent, just in case something goes wrong, because it's going to take them a while to build that infrastructure after it gets utilized. AI has signed NDAs. They could. There's absolutely no reason that they couldn't. Um, they're very well could be NDAs with Grok and stuff, so that they don't come out into. Because let me put it this way: for some reason, actually no, I know the reason. If they got exposed, like truly exposed, and hundreds, if not thousands of people figured out that it was XRP, there would be a rush of retail into XRP, and they've spent a decade trying to keep us out. So, because they're exposed, their jugular's exposed because they had to make it a public ledger, because nobody in the world would have ever accepted this new blockchain technology if they had just come out and said, like, oh, fuck off, everyone. This is the new control grid. This is XRP. This is our ledger, and you now are underneath digital ID and all this other stuff. They would have never accepted that. But because they came out and started it as a public ledger and Bitcoin, because they came out and made them public ledgers, then they've allowed people to kind of adapt and learn and get used to the fact that this is going to be a thing. And so that's why they have all these non-disclosure agreements, because if somebody knows the plan ahead of time, or if retail figures it out, if we all go buy 1,000 coins each and like millions of people go do that because they're like, oh, they're going to use this. If anyone announces that too soon, their whole plan gets probably not destroyed, but a lot more wealth will transfer to a lot more peasants than they want. They do not want us to hold it as much as possible. I mean, they know that a few thousand of us will end up holding it to the full price appreciation, but they do not. As many of us peasants as they can get out of it before they have to send the price up, that's ideal for them, because this is all about control in the end. So yeah, they don't want anyone secretly slipping and saying, like, that's why, like, when Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank, the multi-billionaire, he came out like in a interview on mainstream media like a year ago, And he was like, yeah, he's like, all these blockchain ledgers are going to be used, like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. And he said, and because he was going to say XRP, the number 4 coin at the time, and he stopped himself because he's not supposed to say it. And then just like when Elon Musk got asked about XRP, he was talking about something else on stage, and people go, "What do you think about XRP?" And he goes, well, yeah, no, yeah, it'll be used." Like, good save, Elon. Your Asperger's really helped you right there. Like, he's super smart, but in a panicked emotional situation, he did not perform very well. And then you have Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, when he was asked about XRP, like in the last year, on mainstream media, they go, "Oh, and what do you think about XRP for being used for the future blockchain, technology?" And Larry Fink goes, "Oh, I can't talk about XRP." And he goes, "And you don't want me to talk about XRP?" Like, good save, Larry. You're like a multi-billionaire elitist, and that was the best you could come up with to try to throw people off the scent of XRP. Yeah, but most people bought that hook, line, and sinker. So my battery is at 3%, and I really just kind of wanted to do another live because it was so much fun yesterday. I'll probably do one once a week, but it was really, really fun. And also, we finally, I think, figured out what the Riddlers were talking about with the 14 number, I think. So we'll see this week whether any of these votes, Nothing Burger, Rocket. We got more votes now for Rocket than Nothing Burger, but we still have one vote for Crash. So best of luck to you guys. And yeah, thanks for watching.